Welcome back to All Indiana, and thanks for joining me in the kitchen. We've gotten lots of feedback about the pies we've made, no pun intended, by the way, feedback about the pies we've made already this week, and today's is a special one. It's a French apple cream cheese pie, and I'm going to explain it as I go, but I think it might be a French apple because there's a whole lot of butter in this, so just hold on tight and let's make it together. So I've got butter simmering in this pan on the oven, which I'm happy to say today is working for me, and now I'm going to put in like 6 cups of sliced apple. So I've actually never really made this pie except when I made it last night. And the reason is because it's actually my co-host Alexis's one of your favorite pies from when you were a kid. So tell us about that.
You know, when it came to this pie, I don't know about anybody out there, but we used to always go to Baker Square.
Oh,
you
yeah.
remember Baker Square?
Uh-huh.
And I love cheesecake. Cheesecake is one of my favorite desserts ever. And they had this thing that had like cheesecake on top, and it was like a sweetened apple pie on the bottom, but it was all together. And so that's when we were talking about pies, I was like, ooh, I remember that pie, and I haven't seen it since.
Yeah, so it's like the best of both worlds is what it sounds like. So it's cheesecake meets apple pie. I left the skins on the apples because I'm a busy mom and I didn't have time to take them, crank them through that wonderful little contraption I got from Amazon. So I left the skins on. I think that works out perfectly okay. And then you sprinkle in a good bit of sugar into that and just continue sauteing those. As I was making this last night, these apples release a lot of water. Okay. So we probably won't even be able to get through all of that right now, but you would saute them until that turns into a sauce and it thickens. Okay. I also put some cinnamon in there because I thought it was really good.
Why not?
And it smells like cider cooking is what it
does
smells like.
It smells so warm. It smells like the holidays, actually.
Yes, that's exactly right. So then cream cheese for our cheesecake layer, a good tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, an egg in that. This is pretty simple, actually. And then some sugar, all right? And so we're gonna blend that really high and really fast so we can get this whole thing moving and grooving. Now, this recipe actually calls for a graham cracker pie crust. Is that what they had at Baker Square? Do you remember that?
Graham cracker? I think so, yeah.
Which is so interesting. I happen to love graham cracker crust. And the cool thing is the ones that you get that are already made at the store are actually pretty good to use. You know, like the good old Keebler ones. Just go ahead and use that. Funny enough, though, when you're making a regular apple pie, I would encourage you to make your own crust instead of getting the pre-made crust because those are really different. There's a huge difference between homemade flaky, buttery pie crust and the ones that you get at the store. And it's worth every second of it. Really, the key is just keeping the butter frozen and keeping that pie crust cold until you roll it out. All right, so you see we've sauteed the apples.
I see it browning.
What'd you say?
I see it browning.
Yes, yeah, and that adds so much flavor. It was almost, when I was making it last night, Alexis, it reminded me of like a caramel because it's kind of caramelizing. So then we have the topping right here in this lovely thing. And all this is, I didn't take the time to show it right now, but it's just flour, brown sugar, salt, and then what else? Butter. Some softened butter, that's right. And so we're gonna kind of cut this in because it's gonna make the crumble on top. Okay. And Alexis, I'm gonna have you go ahead and grab a fork because I want you to try this.
Yes,
and I'm
so
eager
excited.
to see what you think. I think it's in that bottom drawer over there.
This is always what happens when you go to somebody else's house, you know, and you're always looking for things.
She's gonna keep looking while I finish making this.
Yes.
You're getting hotter. You're right there. Hotter. There you go. Yeah. One more down.
Aha!
She's got it. All right, so now what we're gonna do is add these apples. Let me pass this pie over to you. Oh, can I put some whipped cream on it for you?
Oh, please.
Is that okay? So what we're gonna do is add the sauteed apples on top of the cream cheese layer. The oven is at 350, and so you wanna put, gotta do that, right?
That looks yummy.
So what you wanna do is put the apples that are sauteed top of the cream cheese layer, and then you're simply gonna, look at how gooey and yummy that is. Then you're simply gonna take that lovely crumble that we just made, and I use my fingers and just kind of crumble it over the top of the apple. So there's really like 3 layers going on here. Oven's at 350. You cook it, might take about 35 to 40 minutes. Whenever it's set, and you can saute those apples so as much as you want. Did
Okay.
you try it yet? Is she
I'm
still on her
waiting
way?
'cause I was-
Okay,
okay.
wait, because we want to get her.
Okay.
All right, so
You
then
ready
this
for
is
me?
what you guys are going to do. All right, crumble goes on top. Here's the finished version. Let's see what Alexis thinks.
Okay. Love it.
Does it take you back?
It takes me back.
Does it?
Because it's crunchy on top. Oh, and it's sweet in all the best of ways.
Well, and the
girl.
richness of the cheesecake. It's such a good pairing. I'm so glad you brought this into my life.
We are going to have to go running after this.
For the whole week, I need to do some major running. Forrest Gump kind of running is what I need
I
after
mean,
5
it's
weeks.
just between the apples and the cheesecake and then the top. I mean, if somebody is mad at you, make them this. Man, this is so awesome. And it seemed pretty easy.
I'm glad you liked it. Yep, not too bad.
Well, Nessa, thank you so much for making